Hi everyone, welcome to Cheer the British Way. This is Building Gymfinity. In this episode, we are talking with the one and only Zoe Reid from Gymfinity in Wales, who will share her journey of building a cheer gym and taking a team all the way to Wales in a very short, impressively short amount of time.
We'll explore what it takes to build a successful cheer programme, the unique challenges and opportunities for cheer in Wales, and the pride of representing the UK on a global stage. Zoe, how are you? When he said Reid, I was going to say Roberts because in my head, you will always be Zoe Roberts because maiden names stay with me. How are you, Zoe?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for coming along today to join us. We're so excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here, guys, and share some lovely memories together.
I think what most people don't know is that actually our relationship with you goes back a really, really long time. Zoe was actually on Unity Black back in 2007.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Second year?
Second year.
Season, yeah.
Almost an OG, but not quite.
Yeah,
Not
almost.
Quite that
first
honour,
team,
but close.
yeah.
But so we've known each other for a really, really, really long time. And it has been so amazing to see your journey from athlete to gym owner to incredibly successful world's coach and being an amazing mum all at the same time. You've achieved so many things. So we're going to talk to you today about Gymfinity and your journey. So what inspired you to start Gymfinity? Like, talk to us a little bit about the background of the gym, but also your background in the sport and how you first got into it.
So I was at work and I stumbled upon a cheer team. I was originally a gymnast, as lots of us start. And my gym coach said to me, I think you should coach now. It's time.
We've all been told that.
Yeah. Every gymnast gets that eventually.
We need some more coaches and, you're 16, it's time. So I was like, I don't think it's my time. I would like to do
I've got more to give.
I've got more to give, guys. So I stumbled upon a cheer team and I was like, that looks really fun. So I started to join in and that was really, really good fun. Went to a few competitions, had no clue what I was doing.
What team was that with?
That was originally with RSD.
Oh, yeah.
And did that for quite a few years and it was really, really good fun. I was mainly just a tumbler, a little bit of basing, maybe a prep here or there.
Yeah, you weren't a flyer, right?
No.
For anybody who isn't watching this visually or hasn't met Zoe, wouldn't exactly, a giant of the industry, but perhaps not in stature, I think is not...
How tall are you?
It's not unfair to say.
I'm definitely 5 foot.
If
Creeping
on a good
up
day,
to.
If I raise my chin really high, I'm 5 foot.
if you're on, you do live high in the mountains where there's lower gravity, so maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth understanding that you, are not the tallest human being on planet Earth for sure, and yet you came to us and you were not a flyer, and that blows my mind now. Can you imagine her walking in the gym now and just going, just be a specialist. You're a back spot.
Absolutely. But also, do tell us who your base was when you first joined Unity. Who was that?
Well, she's actually sitting in the room.
It was me.
So Tori was my base, guys, as was Owain.
Thankfully, Zoe has provided us with a picture which we can share on the socials of me and a wine basing you in a 2-person arabesque with some awful
brilliant
definitely
grips.
not legal technique.
Fellow Welsh cheer legend as well.
Oh,
it was a heavily
absolutely.
Welsh group.
It was, apart from me, who's
Apart from you.
never been to Wales.
We've just discovered Tori's never
been.
even set foot in
It's
Wales.
outrageous. I'm going to go really soon.
You might be getting an education in this one
I
as well.
think I will be.
I think we should remake the picture at some point.
I just don't know if I've got it in me anymore.
Is that safe? Is the
I do
question we
think
need to ask.
I watch my athletes train now and I'm like, well done, guys, because
Yeah, good job.
as many people would tell you, not so long ago, I dropped a prep filling in for Ruby, so I'm not allowed to touch any stunts anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe not.
We'll just reminisce.
We will. So back to you. So you were on at RSD.
Then I was on a course up in Coventry and bumped into Chin, and she was like, "Are you coming to cheer tryouts?" And I was like, no." She was like, "Oh, they're just this way. Follow me." And I was like, "Okay." So just started following her. Don't know why, but I did. Luckily, I listened.
Easily led.
She was like, I think it was some kind of uni tryouts or something. I have no idea. And I was like, I'm not on a uni team. She was like, oh, okay, well, and I wasn't doing anything, so I just kind of took part for some reason. And she said, actually, next month there's a tryout for uni team or Unity. I was like, okay. She was like, yeah, you need to come along. I was like, okay. And she handed me this form. No such thing as like, Google Doc form or anything those days.
No. This was in 2006. This was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. And she said, I'll pick you up. I was like, okay. So there we went. And we turned up in some kind of farm.
Yep. Shout out. Shout out to the farm.
This is getting more confusing to people who don't remember this by the second.
I know.
Right?
I was a little cautious, I'm not going to lie. But Chin was lovely, and she was like, yeah, you're going to try out. So arrived there, another form to fill out, pen and paper.
She's quite bitter about this. She seems really annoyed about the amount of paperwork we made her do.
I don't remember producing a form.
Right? It doesn't, it does sound like you to have made a form. I wouldn't have had anything
enough
to do with it.
On this form, you had to say what position you were trying out as. So I just wrote tumbler as normal and bass, thought it was normal. Did notice that everyone was quite tall.
Being a co-ed team.
Being a co-ed team. Didn't know really what I was getting myself in for. And that's when I met Amanda for the first time. And she was like, she took me to the side and held my arm. She was like, you can't surely try out as a bass. And I was like,
That's a good Amanda impression, actually.
So I did try, but I was told, no, I had to try out as a flyer. And it just kind of stemmed from there. Got a phone call from Tori saying I made the team.
Oh, God. We used to literally individually call every person who made the team. Oh, I love that. That's such good memories. So obviously you were on Black. Well, it was at the time Unity. And we had obviously some incredible years. And we could probably talk about our time on that team for many, many hours. But let's move forward to when you started your own journey with building your own program. How did that come about?
So I was doing some work in some schools, cheerleading, obviously, a little bit of tumbling, gymnastics, teaching a cheer club, and I met my husband Paul through school. He was a teacher at the school, and basically we met, and I took a little bit of a break from cheerleading. Did some random other jobs just while we were kind of getting to know each other. And we've got 2 beautiful children together. And I said to him, one day I really want to start a gym. And he was like, oh, do you? And he was like, a business in cheerleading?
Is that a thing?
Is that a job? So anyway, I kept on and on about it. And then one day he said, oh, we're going out. I was like, okay, where are we going? And he was just getting in the car. So we went up to the basically like this industrial estate. And he was like, can you see that unit? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I think I'm going to buy it. I was like, oh, right. Okay, then. So...
this is like Pretty Woman in cheerleading or something.
It's
It turned into a love story.
I love that.
And he was like, let's just do it. So we did. And we had no members, and we just started our own cheerleading club with no money. I think between his mum and dad and my nan and granddad borrowed us money to buy a floor and pay the first month. Well, first 3 months were free at the time, but we had to pay sort of like buildings insurance up front, which was a lot back then, and kind of went from there.
And when was this? What year was this?
So we started in 2016, the same year as we got married. So we got married and then opened the gym a month later.
So less than 10 years.
Yeah, less than a decade.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing.
And it does feel like it sprung up so quickly, but it has, I suppose, in the grand scheme of these
especially when
things.
you consider that in that 10 years was COVID.
Yeah.
So that was 2 years where you weren't properly running. I mean, I think it's absolutely incredible what you guys have achieved. And love the fact that he was like, let's do this together, because I think it's, finding someone that like sees your dreams and believes in them and was prepared to do it with you is quite rare.
Yeah.
And it's been really lovely to
What a
watch
guy.
you guys.
Let's
What
get-
a guy.
let's get Paul in here
Shout
as
out
well.
to Paul.
Shout out to Paul. What a legend.
To for you guys to build a family and a business together and see how well you've done. And I can imagine that can be really stressful at times because you can't get away from it. Like,
No.
it's your home, it's your work, it's, the girls' cheer. Like, what's that like?
It is constantly around. You know, home life very much is crosses over. I mean, I'm sure you can relate, Tori.
I don't know, yes and no, because my husband is a lawyer, and it does sort of, home is very much not about cheer anymore. But I think when I was building the gym, like much more so, because I worked a lot more, I was in the gym a lot more, things were a lot, tougher. But I think now, not so much, but he's never been in it.
Yeah.
So I've never kind of had that. I've always got home and that was it.
Yeah.
So I can't really imagine what it's like. A bit different now because Ren cheers as well.
Yeah.
So now it is. I think actually more now. It's in my home life.
Yeah, yeah.
But you guys just seem, you have such a great relationship, and
it is really easy. We do have a little bit of banter here or there. And
banter is Welsh for arguments.
Yes, I guess so. We just roll with that one.
It's like, softened up well there. Good job. Good cover.
But yeah, it organically works well. He's great. He does all his side of the stuff, very much runs the business side of things, and he's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I think one thing that works well as well is that he did sport for all his life, played professional football, motocross rider, so very much sports, massive part of our life. And then obviously being a PE teacher all kind of entwines.
But does he still teach?
No, he did probably for about 2 years while we had the first 2 years of the gym. He had to keep working because we didn't have an income.
Yeah.
I was basically working for free for about a year. We needed to build up that pot of money so we could, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was probably like a very unstable time in our life. We just got married. We didn't have much money to get married. And just sort of took the risk and went for a dream.
I love that. Good for you. And it's paid off. It's absolutely paid off, hasn't it?
So what were the biggest challenges you think you faced in the early days, getting the program building, going from ground up, literally ground up? Yeah, start with an empty building and no kids, right?
Yeah. I think where we built the gym is probably, looking back, a little bit stupid. Because we're in one of the most deprived areas in Wales, not well populated, probably not a great choice to set up a gym where you want to attract hundreds of people to take part in sport. But I think that was definitely a challenge. But now we have athletes coming from all over that travel up to 2 hours to come to us, which I never even thought that was going to even happen. But I think at the very beginning, the difficult things was building the program, getting people through the door, going to schools, doing lots of voluntary work, finding out how we're going to get everyone to come to our gym and experience our amazing sport, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the early days are a lot of work, aren't they? You're really putting in the slog, you're putting in the hours, you're, like you say, you're teaching in schools. I mean, we've all done it. We've all done that kind of entry-level grassroots coaching in order to get those kids in. I mean, how did the local community respond to you setting up the gym? Was it quite supportive?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. For the local community, us setting up the gym is one of the best things that's ever happened. It's given access to recreational gymnastics, tumbling, cheerleading, and so positive. We have so much support from it.
That's fantastic. So talk us through the moment that you realised that Gymfinity was actually becoming really successful and you had the opportunity to create a Worlds team. Because you were at Worlds within 3 years of setting up your gym.
2019 we went to our first Worlds.
Which is just incredible.
Yeah.
3 years.
Wow.
I mean, I think,
realising.
I think for a lot of people listening, that might be sort of just setting up new programs or sort of fairly new in terms of building their gyms. Obviously, for a lot of people, Worlds is the goal, and it isn't for everyone. We spoke in our last episode about how some gyms focus on rec, some focus on summit, lower levels, and how there's a place for everyone. But if you are a Worlds-focused coach and that's what you're aiming for, how did you manage to achieve that in such a short space of time, do you think?
Was it always the goal? Like, was that something you went into it knowing that you wanted to get to, or was there a sort of strategy of putting that together in that space of time or longer term, or did it just come together faster than you thought?
It's definitely come together faster than I thought, but the first stage was wow, do you think one day we could have our own gym and work for ourselves and do it for us instead of always maybe doing it for other people? Wouldn't it be nice to own your own something and work for yourself and create your own hours, which actually in hindsight is every hour right now, but it does change. It's sort of like, that was the first like dream, I guess, to have your own place. And then we started to go to competitions and I was like, okay, we're good at tumble. Okay, let's keep going with this. And we started to get a bit tumble heavy. So we were great at tumble, score sheet, doing really well. But then when it came to stunts, we were like, okay, we need to work on this, guys. So yeah, we went to, I think it was Jamfest Nationals for the first time. And it was our like first season. We had a level 2 team and they were at awards and they were like, and the gold bid for the US finals was Gymfinity. And we were like, that's us, guys. Guys, that's us. Where are we going? Didn't even know what US finals was. So then of that was probably the pivoting point where we thought that, okay, we're just not a recreational.
We're actually good at this.
Okay, we're recognised now. So that was the first time we went to like an international competition. We went to Las Vegas for US finals. Got picked up for a few TV things. I was just like, wow, this is really cool, guys. And we took, I think it was like nearly 100 people on that trip. We organised it all ourselves. We was like, wow, this is amazing. Such a fantastic experience. Never thought we would, sort of go and be competitive. Turns out we won the whole thing.
Oh, fantastic. What division was that?
Junior level 2.
Fab.
I don't think it was like under something on those days. It was just
I
like
love
junior.
that you have that point. Like you can literally pinpoint that moment where you won that bid and you were like, oh my goodness, like we're competitive, we're doing it. And like that is, such a turning point for your programme. Yeah. So then from there, when did you win your first Worlds bid?
We went to, in between that, we thought, we're going to start a level 3 team. That's the next stage. Started that. And then before we started a Worlds team, I was like, how am I going to start a Worlds team? And I was chatting to one of my friends and I said, how do you start your Worlds? I can't remember who it was. We'll just cut that bit out. I can't remember who it was. And it was Sammy from ICE.
Oh, yeah.
And I said to her, how did you start your Worlds team? And she was like, I give golden invitations out. And I was like, that's genius. I'm going to do these golden invitations. So I called it like the golden bow. So you had this envelope and in it was an invitation to golden bow. I just sort of made it up. I thought that sounds really special. I put tons of glitter in these envelopes, like piles. So
Who hoovers your gym? Is that Paul?
Pardon?
Who hoovers your gym?
Oh, yeah, twice a week, Paul. Actually, no, Paul's mum does it now and she does a fantastic job.
Oh, well done, Paul.
I know. No,
Shout
she's
out to
brilliant,
the nan.
guys. But it was originally Paul.
But hang on, after fronting the money for the floor, you now make her clean it.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Sounds like a good deal. Hope you paid it back.
So you give out these golden bows, your kids, like it's super exciting.
It was just selective, yeah, super exciting. I think there was about 18, 19 people. And we were like, we're going to enter a competition. It wasn't just a training thing anymore. It was like, okay, the real deal. We're going to go and just enter. And then we went to BCA, I think it was, for the first time. And we did okay. It was neat, safe cheerleading. It was a very good job. So we got home and then back to coaching as normal. And I finished at like 9:30 on a Monday. And Paul arrived with Olivia in her pajamas. I thought, oh my God, what's happened? Why is Paul just arriving at the gym? And we got this email and he said, sit down. I was like, okay, what's wrong? Something happened? And he went, yeah, we got a Worlds bid.
Oh my God. That's so, I have got actual goosebumps just thinking about that because you didn't know.
I haven't actually told anyone this story, actually.
Oh God.
Yeah, so that's how it happened.
So we got our first Worlds bid not at a competition. It was a phone call.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an in the moment winning one. It was like I guess we got hand-me-down bids, didn't we, really? Is that what happens? I don't know.
I don't really know how it all worked back then. But
amazing.
Yeah.
So how did your athletes and coaches react to that first Worlds opportunity?
I don't really think they understood at first. I think they just didn't quite understand. We got everyone in a circle. We like team meeting. We told them all. They were like, wow, they didn't really know what we were doing. But eventually, obviously, they realised.
It's funny how it goes from that, isn't it? No one really knows what's going on. We're just so excited to be part of it, to being like highly competitive.
Yeah.
Like it's
real quick turnaround.
Yeah, real quick.
This is wonderful, this thing. We'll just go and enjoy the experience to taking it incredibly seriously and dominating your entire psychology.
And what was that like, that first Worlds experience for your programme?
It was incredible. I feel like we didn't feel the pressure as much as we do now, because it was all about the experience. We're going to take part. And wow, isn't this amazing for Wales? The first team to sort of go as an all-girl team to represent. It was absolutely fantastic. Felt really, really proud of that. And it was amazing. And then we sat down, watched all the competition. And I think at the time it was level 5. Sort of, we were all in the same division. And I think you guys were there with Ruby.
Oh, God, yeah, because when did it move to 6? Was that after COVID? During COVID? You're right, though. It was a massive division 21. That year. It was like 38 teams deep or something.
Yeah, and it was the first time Wales as a nation had represented us all girls. So we were sitting on the stands on the side, and they were like, and in 5th place for the Nations Cup. And we were like...
I actually remember that really clearly. And it was in the field house, wasn't it?
I know, yeah.
And you came down the stairs.
And I had to walk so far to get this trophy. And at the time, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I walked all the way back up the stairs, and it was amazing, like seeing, some of the British teams do so well. And then we got back to the gym and we were like, goal, next year, we're going to make top 10. That's our goal, to make Matt. But then they changed it the year after. And
then you had to wait 3 years to go back because of COVID.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've sort of been around a lot of this, and you always were, certainly in those early days of Worlds, very guarded and very controlled about making sure that, or you personally, I don't know how you were perhaps with the kids. I'm sure you were exactly the same in terms of keeping their expectations under control and being, look, we're just, because you love to talk yourself down. We know this about Zoe. Yeah. She doesn't like, she's not a talk herself up person. She's getting into it. We're getting her there. But you were very kind of guarded with it and very controlled. And through the whole program, really, I think you really did build a lot of this stuff up through a development program. I remember you having development level before it was a team and all of these things. You're very structured in the way you guys do things anyway. At what point almost did you go from that, we're keeping everyone's expectations under control and we're going for the experience and we want to not overstretch ourselves, to right now we're taking this seriously and we're being competitive? And was that a conscious thing, or did the success just sort of lead you that way?
I think it happened just before COVID more than anything. We had Golden Bow, which we kept that same program going, but you had to be a certain age. So then we started Silver Bow. I just felt like it kind of fell into place. And we thought, well, we got to start making our next generation. If we're, what about when these 2019 Worlds girls decide they're not going to do it anymore? So then we created Silver Bow. And then I found that these Silver Bow athletes, which were sort of junior age children, started to get really good. And I was like, okay, so we need some kind of next generation program. And then Next Gen started, could kind of created that. And we sort of got a little bit better at stunting. Not great, but a lot stronger. And we kind of, even the field when it came to like, okay, you can tumble really well. Okay, you can stunt good now. So, and then COVID hit and we kind of had lots of time to think. And I was like, I want to be really great at cheerleading. I want to be the best that we can be. One day, I want us to win.
Yeah.
Like, dream big, so come on, you got it. Really ambitious kind of feelings. And then, I think that was the pivoting point. And then we just stunted really hard. And I was like, we're going to train 3 times a week. One night it's just going to be stunt. That's what we need to get better at. And it just kind of went from there and built. I
mean, I don't think any program or team ever gets really great without a leader behind them who is saying, we're doing this and we're going to be the best we can be. I think you need that kind of dynamic, powerful leader behind any sort of level of success. So, it's exciting.
Let's move from Worlds to your little corner of the world that you're very proud of. Proud Welsh lady over here, we know. If anybody couldn't tell from the accent. based in South Wales. Yes?
Yes.
So for you, what do you think is unique, different, interesting about cheer in Wales specifically, as opposed to other parts of the UK?
I think the hardest thing is that most of the competitions competitively are in England or in Europe. So for us to, and there are more competitions popping up now, which is fantastic to see the EP growth. But particularly for us in Wales, there is a lack of development of cheerleading as a whole. And I feel like the last 3 to 5 years, and I feel like Gymfinity has been a massive part of that, have really sort of developed when it comes to cheerleading and the standard that we deliver. And yeah, I'm just really passionate that Wales are starting to bring up that level of cheerleading.
Do you think there's any specific reasons, perhaps, or what affects cheerleading in Wales differently? Do you think geographically there is anything going on, that accessibility? I mean, I would speculate because I don't have research to back it up, but I feel like there is a great density of gyms and cheer programs in Wales, perhaps compared to England, maybe Scotland as well. There's a lot of teams up there too.
Yeah, there are a few cheerleading teams, but there's not that many in terms of, Wales is small as a country, but there is not many, and there's not as much opportunities to access cheerleading. It's not as well developed, which is definitely growing. But I just think that the culture compared to England is very much different, but it is on its high with its growth. And I think, over the next couple of years, it's definitely going to pivot and increase its participation. And I mean, our club alone went from 0 in 2016 to like 550 members now. So definitely has grown,
Do you feel like Welsh cheer, as opposed to English cheer, say specifically, has a different identity, style, anything like that? Or is that something you'd like to see develop? Because I feel like if I watch Scottish teams, a lot of the time the style is quite different because a lot of Scottish cheer is very heavily evolved out of dance. It's a lot based in dance school, much more than English cheer has kind of grown up on its own from cheerleading in a lot of cases. Less of it, certainly recently, evolved from dance, perhaps more evolved from gymnastics, I guess. We kind of talked about how most of us have gymnastics background.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, Welsh cheerleading could have a different kind of style and identity? We East Coast versus West Coast cheer.
Yeah, and I think there's not a lot of co-ed in Wales. That's the most underdeveloped part of cheerleading. And I think, as soon as you step foot in England, there's multiple co-ed teams that you can join. Whereas in Wales, there's very few co-ed opportunities and very few co-ed experience. And I think that's very much an identity difference. And I think that the level of cheerleading is just very different.
I suppose we are in England pretty saturated in terms of, I think about where we are specifically, sort of south of London, there are so many clubs local to us and a lot of world's level clubs. And then, in Wales, just nowhere near as many, so the saturation levels are completely different.
Yeah, like last year on its own, there was one team that went to Worlds for cheerleading. There's a few dance teams, but mainly just cheer. And
you didn't take just one team, you're taking 2 teams.
Yeah.
Because you obviously have Ladies of the Crown and Angels.
Yeah. So we took one U18-5 and then one IO6. And, we'd be there, meet people, and they're like, where are you from? Like, Wales. They're like, wow.
The animals.
I think that, for you as well, when we talk about your sort of success rate and how, it's not even a decade that you've had the gym, to have taken not just one team to Worlds, but actually 2, but also you've also won Summit as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
So we're talking about success across not just the sort of Worlds level, but also, was it level 3, your Summit team?
U16 level 3. Very competitive division in 2024. Absolutely. Went to Summit for 3 years and I was like, right, guys, something's got to change. We need a win.
Yeah.
I want to win this year. And we just didn't stop. Absolutely fantastic experience. Very, very competitive, though.
Is it a big source of pride for you and the kids? Like, is that something you make a big deal of in terms of flying the flag for Wales, particularly internationally?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the answer to this because I know it is, but...
Absolutely. I feel so proud to be part of putting Wales on the map when it comes to great cheerleading. And obviously we weren't the first team to go to Worlds, but it's just great that not only one team, but now two teams represent Wales. And every time we set our season, we sit there, we're like, you know, wow, isn't it amazing? We get to go to Worlds again and represent Wales. Yeah.
Because it is Wales, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the, you know, the running order, it's Gymfinity, Angels, Wales, not
we don't
UK,
get to
not Great
compete with
Britain.
we don't get to compete with the England teams. So when you guys like all get together, we're just kind of left on our own.
Which is something you're quite passionate about keeping, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it's really, really important. I feel like everyone should have their own opportunity to develop at the level that they're at.
Yeah, and I think you guys have definitely done that. We've had some conversations about this, haven't we?
Because it's an interesting one. I mean, let's go there.
Because obviously we do. Well, we can talk about it. We compete at the same events for the same bids.
Yeah.
Yet we have to make top 3 of our country, and you don't. But you know, but that is something you feel quite strongly about, making sure that continues for the Welsh teams.
Yeah.
And for further opportunities, and hopefully, obviously, with the growth of cheering Wales, there will be more teams that get to that level, whether it's Summit or Worlds or All-Star Worlds or you know, any of the other sort of international competing opportunities there are.
And I think the challenging thing for Wales is that you can't get a Worlds bid in Wales. Like you can't go to an EP and get a Worlds bid in Wales. So we have to go to England or another European country to be able to go to Worlds to start with. So we literally cannot win a Worlds bid in our own country right now.
And it would be great to see that growth for the country.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to someone thinking about starting their own gym, looking at the sort of amazing success you and Paul have had in the last decade with Gymfinity, all the amazing things that you've achieved, that you've done for Welsh Cheer, that you've done for all the athletes that have come through your doors? What do you think is the one piece of advice you'd give to someone thinking, I would like to be like Zoe, like I would like to start my own gym?
The biggest thing I would say is never give up. Never back down and dream big. And if it scares you, go for it.
Love that.
Summed it up.
Yeah, sums it up.
What's next? What's the future hold? What do you see coming down the pipe? You don't have to reveal all your secrets and all the teams you can have, but what does the future hold for Gymfinity?
Lots of dreams. I'm currently mentoring loads of my coaches to have dreams of their own and take their own national team, take their own travel team, go to European Summit, compete at the Summit. And that's kind of what's happening now is I'm going into that era where I'm mentoring my coaches to take those roles that maybe I had. And Tori, we were talking about that earlier, weren't we? And you were telling me about, you know, how your role has shifted.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it does. I think, you know, you want that next generation to come through and you want to see your coaches come through your gym and be able to step up and take that role. Yeah. I think it's really important. So how do you balance your ambition for Gymfinity with sort of building a supportive cheer club, having all the other teams, being a mum?
Well, it actually brings me back to a conversation we had quite a few years ago. You were at a conference and you were talking and you were saying how you used to run everything. You used to go to every team's warm-up. You used to do everything. And I was like...
I was everywhere.
I do that too. And I did do that.
Yeah.
And soon it came to a time where I realised I actually can't do it all.
Yeah.
So I either need to train someone up or give more opportunities or stop doing as much as I'm doing because it's not, you know, it's not going to work. So I think finding that balance is realising how much you're actually capable of doing. And, you know, once you start a family, you know, I've got 2 beautiful girls and taking that balance is really, really important, but they do both love cheerleading. So that's a bonus.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
That is really helpful.
And like with Ren, the same thing, isn't it? Like she absolutely loves cheerleading. So, I mean,
it helps.
I feel so blessed that they love being a part of the sport and kind of like, you know, kind of being a cheer mum too is kind of nice.
I'm a terrible cheer mum. I'm like, what's going on, sorry? She's got choreo. I'm like, oh gosh, what does she need to wear? Where's her scrunchie? Like, she's got a scrunchie. Honestly, I'm awful. I'm the worst. That's something I'm going to work on. That's my resolution
Better
for
cheer
this
mum.
season, to be a better cheer mum.
That transition as well that you're talking about in terms of going from being the person that does everything to delegating things and stepping back, and I think it's such an important conversation for so many people, because everybody goes through that when they've built a program from the ground up. Everybody gets to that point, because I've had this conversation with so many different people, like, how are you still coaching 12 teams every single, and I'm not somebody who ever went through that. I've gone a different sort of pathway through things where I haven't built from scratch and taken on everything. But it is such an important thing for people to realize that is an evolution that you get to make eventually. And it's not easy. It's so difficult, because we tend to, I think, by nature, be kind of control freak people.
Absolutely. I think very A-type personality in cheerleading coaches.
It's very difficult to let things go.
Very difficult to delegate.
The let go, that part is hard. And this season, I've let go of a few teams. I'm still there, on the side. But I didn't realise that I was going to feel a sense of overwhelming gratitude that actually now these guys get the opportunity to coach. And I didn't know that existed until I let go.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay.
It's very empowering.
I can't
Seeing your
explain
coaches succeed that you've taught and have come through your gym is an amazing experience. Thank you so much, Zoe, for joining us today. It's been so interesting to hear about your amazing journey, and just wishing you the most amazing season. And definitely, can you come back, because we definitely need to do a reminiscing episode about all of the things that we've done when we did cheerleading together. Because for those of you that listened to the first episode about the Joseph car and how we named the Unity team, Zoe was there. She was in that van.
I was in that
She was
crazy
part
van.
of that iconic history.
I was in the back, not having a clue what was going on.
Absolutely. And I think often,
it was so fun.
Often we forget how long we could talk about these things for hours and hours and hours and hours. So please do come back. Obviously, we're launching this year. We've done our hashtag Not Just Cheer campaign about representing, the positive sides of cheerleading and creating positive conversations around the sport and all the amazing things that it does for us. And I think, you're a massive part of, the sort of legacy of the sport, and just showing what you can achieve if you put your mind to it and you dream big and, set yourself goals, and, the fact that the work is absolutely worth it.
Yeah, and a great example of, it's not just cheer, your whole program, your ethos is so much more than just the sport and the success, and we've talked a lot about that today. But yeah, from someone I've known a long time and been around your program, everything else and the pride that your athletes have in the uniform, the name, the Welsh pride as well, is a big thing. So I think you really embodied that. Any final messages for everybody that's listening? Inspire our listeners for us. You already have.
I would say just what I said earlier. If it scares you, go for it. If it feels scary, you know that you're dreaming big, and that's what you need to do.
If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough.
Yeah, follow your heart.
Absolutely. Zoe, thank you so much for joining us today. And guys, thank you for tuning in. Please let us know who you would like to see on the next podcast. Send us a message on Instagram or TikTok, or pop us an email to hello@cheerthebritishway.co.uk. And please remember to like, subscribe and share to help us reach all of the incredible people within our cheer community. The end.